Hello, 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 my beauties. I'm so excited to be here for another episode of the show. I realized a couple days ago that I haven't posted in like a month. You want to know why? I mean, does it really matter why? I mean, I just haven't. But also, do you want to know why? I'm in Italy and I'm at my house here in Sicily, and we just got our super fast internet hooked up a couple weeks ago, and I've been getting settled and we are decorating the house some more. And I've been meeting with farmers who farm olives, olive groves, because I'm going to be doing intensives here. And along with the quantum frequency work that we do, we're going to do experience stuff like going out making our own olive oil for you to take home, and visiting sheep farms, like all sorts of cool things to experience Sicily. And so I've just honestly been busy, but I'm so excited to get back in here and make content for you. I may be a little echoey today and maybe the next couple episodes, just because I have really high ceilings. These are concrete walls, and it just is what it is. But I wanted to get this information out to you. Today I'm going to talk about creating your own shrinkage of timeline. A lot of people call it quantum leap. Quantum leap has nothing to do with time. It's not like a big jump, and everything to do with shifting quantum realms. So that's why I didn't say make a big, huge quantum leap. I am saying shifting the timeline, turning your 5-year goal into 1 year, 1 year goal into 6 months, or even a month. So today, that's what we're talking about. Let me just hush. Let's kick this intro in and let's go, boo. Welcome to the School of Quantum Living. I am your host, Stephanie Sinclair, and every week I will take you on a journey and share lessons that I've learned to manifest my desires, co-create my life, and help hundreds of others do the same. Now let's get into the show. All right, so it is March. We are in a new month. This is the last month of the quarter, and we are going to get into shrinking the timeline. You may or may not have seen on social media, I have been posting about some goals that I personally have. And back in 2019, I believe 2019, I made a goal that I really wanted to focus on my future and focus on not just retirement, but setting myself up so that I don't have to work. Work is just something that I desire to do. That's part of it. And the other part is, setting up for my future generations, making sure that my great-great-great-grandchildren are taken care of, having dividends, returns on investments, all sorts of things going, passive income for them. And so I made a commitment at that time that once a year I would buy a property. And so in 2019, I bought 40 acres. In 2019, 2019, I bought 40 acres. 2020, I bought 7. And in 2021, I lose track of time. In 2021, I put an offer in on a property, but it did not close until March 2022, and I bought 2 properties at that time. So my goal was to have a total of 4 properties. I have a total of 4 properties. And so then that brings us to here. It brings us to 2023. And another year, another property, right? And as I sat and as I started looking at my goals and what are my goals around real estate, it is to generate passive income specifically from real estate on top of dividend income and other investments that I have. And so I decided to up the ante, and my personal goal for 2023 is at least 1 property a month. So we are already in March, which means that I need 3 properties to catch up in March, and then 1 property every month. So by the end of December, a total of 12 properties. Now, I do actually have several properties in the works right now, but I won't go into depths about those until they are like mine, free and clear. But I do have some properties in the work. But having this conversation of shrinking the timeline of 12 properties, which would have taken me 12 years, so shrinking it from 12 years to 1 year, how and why would I do that? And partly because I can, partly because you can, is that we are totally available to shrink the timeline on our goals. There is this belief that in order to achieve the things we want, it's a long, arduous process. And I am not of that belief. I never have. I reached my first $1 million in my business in 3 years, where everyone else told me it would take anywhere between 5 to 8 years. And after that, I literally was able to shrink that down and create $1 million in 3 months, in 4 months. So it's very important that I say this every time. I feel like you can go through a lot of my audios and you will hear me say that the first step with anything that we do is getting clear on what we want. I realize working with a lot of clients that the reason we often don't get what we want is that we absolutely have no idea what we want. We have these vague dreams of specific things, or vague things rather, of like, a pretty house or a car, but we don't have really deep, strong, seated, grounded goals. And so in order to shrink the timeline, it's very important that you know what you want and why you want it, not even just the what you want and the why you want it. And then you have to get honest with yourself about what your current timeline is and why you chose it. And part of the reason that we choose our timeline goals is based upon our limitations. So of course we know that my work is around subconscious programming, and basically it's based upon our current belief system. So we choose our timeline based on what we think is possible. That's it. Literally, we have decided that it's going to take 5 years to reach $1 million, or 2 years to get your first 100K month, or you have to work long, hard, and arduous hours in order to become successful. Or for me, it was 12 years to 12 properties, though I didn't think of it like that. I just said a property a year. But who decided that? And ultimately, the who is me. And ultimately, the who is you. It's, I'm sure we've all heard it when you ask and you say who, and they say the owl, because of course, owls, who. The who is you. The who is the person who said who. You made the decision that it's going to take you the length of time that you have decided. And very often, it does. And the reason is because life moves on our timeline. Ultimately, it's not even real. You can extend a timeline, you can shrink a timeline, and it's based upon where you are, your belief systems, and your focus, right? And so I sat down, and like I said, I had several projects in the works. I sat down this week and got those projects in the work. Literally 1 week, and sat down to get things in the works that would accomplish ultimately probably what most people, based upon my old goal, maybe would take me 4 years or 5 years. I sat down in a week and did. So in order for you to start shrinking the timeline, you know what you want, you know why you want it, you know who created the original timeline you have, and then you sit down and decide what's really possible for you. No one else can decide that for you. You have to remember that you are the God of your reality. You are the God of your experiences. And if you're the God of your reality, just like I could take 12 properties from 12 years to 12 properties in 1 year, and I shrunk the timeline down immensely, you can as well. So I have several people right now. Earlier today, I actually opened up my VIP intensives again. I've actually been working with local officials here in Sicily to create these amazing intensive experiences. So my in-person intensives, they're 2 days. And so one day is all around your quantum frequency experience, and the other one is around Sicilian life and really stepping into this type of life that a lot of people desire: vacation homes, second homes, or just plain new homes in another country, really stepping into new experiences. And I've really been working around that. And so I opened the doors today to either do to schedule or sign up for your summer experience with me, or even a virtual experience that you can have as soon as next week. And I posted it, and several people reached out to me because I do have, you can sign up, but as soon as you sign up, then there's a questionnaire process. And one of the questions I always ask is about your goal. And I think people think that this is just like a question that's standard, and maybe in some people's businesses. But in my business, the reason I ask this question is because I want to know where your current belief system is around what's possible. So if you told me that your goal is to take your business from a fresh baby, smooth booty baby bottoms business to $1 million in 5 years, I know that you've attached 5 years to it. And then I may even ask how. And you may give me this long process of what you think it will take. This is really important because when we get in our work, part of what I do is I basically shred away those time limits that you've attached. Because the reality is I've had clients who were fresh, and in their first year they crossed $1 million. Is this everybody? No. And the answer is not no because it's impossible. The answer is no because you don't know it's possible. You don't think it's possible. And we have enough people telling us, no, we can't reach this because it doesn't fit into their timeline of what you are able to have and what you are able to accomplish. And that is based upon what they have been able to have and what they have been able to accomplish. So one of the things that we go in and do is shred your idea of a timeline. We eradicate it completely because they do not exist until you decide that they have to exist. So what I've decided is attach 12 properties to 1 year, but I've allowed space for those 12 properties to come in 2 months if they want to, and 3 months if they want to. I've allowed space to shrink the timeline even more and surprise myself on how I went from 12 years to 1 year to, say, 3 months. And so it's very important that you recognize, the big lesson I want you to get from this today is that the idea of a timeline attached to a goal is one that is self-imposed. We do not have to listen to what other people say it has to take. We do not have to listen to what anybody else tells us the timeline has to be. When a person tells me my goal is 800,000 and 800,000 over the next 3 years, and I say to them it's very hard, it will be very hard if you follow the work that we're doing for you to do that in anything more than 10 months, their belief system will control that. Because the reality is I've made 800,000 in a weekend. And you can too. I've also made 800,000 in a year. The only thing changed is what I believed was possible. And then my strategy around it. I didn't change who I was. My work was just as powerful. But both a strategy and what I believed was possible shifted, because your strategy can't shift into something that you don't believe. The belief has to be there first that the timeline can shrink. And so that's the work what we're doing in our quantum frequency intensives all summer and through the fall, and starting actually next week. The one person is already booked for next week. The work that we are doing is literally shrinking your timeline inside of the quantum realm, in the quantum frequency intensive. So you'll see two options again. You'll see a pay in full for a in-person. You'll see a split pay for in person, and then you'll see, I think, 3 or 4 payment options for, that's for the virtual. You'll see 3 or 4 payment options for the in person because it is a significantly more of an investment. All right. So remember that, guys. You have decided how long it's going to take you to achieve whatever your monetary goals are. You have decided how long it's going to take you to achieve whatever your investment goals are. Ultimately, you as the God of your reality choose. And then the actions that need to be taken to achieve that will follow. I'm super excited to really go on this journey with you. If you're inside of the school, I'm going to talk more about it actually. As soon as I end this, I'm going to make a video to post inside of the School of Quantum Living. If you're not in the school, join next month on the 1st. So whenever you listen to this, I'm open the 1st through the 5th of every month, even when I don't announce it. Sometimes I don't announce it because I'm launching something else, but we're always open the 1st through the 5th. You can join us and then hop in there and go inside of the Entrepreneurs and the Entrepreneur Club, and you will see this content about shrinking the timeline, my goals, what I'm doing, my progress thus far, etc., etc. And if you have any questions, any thoughts, any extras about today's episode, be sure to find me over on Instagram. I'm Stephanie Sinclair. I have multiple pages. I have Stephanie Sinclair Home. I have a French page. But find me on Stephanie Sinclair, and shoot me a DM or screenshot this and post it in your stories, and I'll share it out. Okay? Talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much for listening to the School of Quantum Living podcast. If you enjoyed it, please head over to your social media and share us out. And if you have any thoughts from the show, feel free to DM me over on Instagram. I'm Stephanie Sinclair. I'll talk to you on the next episode. Toodles.